What's going on, guys? Ryan here with ScreenPrintingSupply.com. Today we did some test printing on a few products, and the reason why we test print here at Texsource is because we get a lot of new products from manufacturers, and they ask us to test print many things to verify stuff on their side as well as verify our products as well. So we like to do a lot of test printing to make sure the products that we're selling to you, the customer, is going to be what you need. So we try and test print weekly on certain items. Like we just did today was black ink. Black ink's standard. It's the simplest ink out there, but we still do test prints on black ink. Problems with certain black inks, you have some that are too shiny, some that are too matte, some that are too dull. So today we did some test prints on the black inks. Usually we're test printing white inks or certain sprays, a wide variety of things. But here at Texsource, we really enjoy testing certain products because it helps us better help you. When I'm testing, I always make sure while I'm at the press, I put my one ink, that's going to be on this side of the page, this ink on this side of the page. I print it, and then once I pull the shirt off, I'll get a marker and handwrite on that t-shirt. Or get a sticky note so I don't mess up the t-shirt. So on this part, what I'm looking for is when I put the ink in, how it floods. You'll see the difference between the floods, how it prints when I pull it, if there's any residue or clogs in the screen after the first pull, and if it's stringy, and that will. So far, so good. That's how it looks. We'll get a nice flood. You can see they both flooded fine, they both look good, both covered well. Pull it, they both look similar. I mean, this one has less than that, less residue, as you can tell. I might get some spray tack just to make sure. But at first glance, Black Dream is shinier. See how it's shiny? Even though this is as simple as a black ink, we still test it among other manufacturers. So what I'm looking for when I'm testing is the body of the ink when it's in the bucket versus when we put it in the screen. When we pull the screen, pull the squeegee, how the ink prints, how it floods, is it stringy? After we print it, after we put it through the dryer, when it comes to black ink, does it have a shiny tint, a dull effect? The coarseness, is one more coarse than the other? Another factor you want to look at when printing with black inks when we're testing it is if over time when you're printing multiple prints, does the ink build up on the back of the screen? With black ink being thinner, you typically print it through a higher mesh count. 160s, 200 for auto, or even manual printers. But black ink is the hardest because it builds up on the back of the screen the most. So if you print 100, 300, 1,000 shirts, over time ink tends to build up on the back of the screen because you're constantly flooding and pushing ink through the screen. So on this one, we know the difference between the inks in the bucket. Now we're going to test it on the screen. How it floods the same way, covers the same way, exact same coverage. It clears the same way, no difference there. Wet, that's still shinier. These should look identical because of the same thing, but to me, they're not identical. Flood. Same, a little more stringy on this side, but it could be a couple of things, but similar sides after the clear. This has a little bit less residue on it than this side. Not that big of a deal. Stringiness. In all, from a point of view perspective, from after the flood and print, before you raise the screen up, they look identical. Not identical, but close. You raise it up. From a wet point of view, right side is shinier than the left side, but it could also be because it looks like there's more ink laid down on it.